Hey, welcome to Mike's Diabetes World. Another fun and exciting day. Okay, current blood sugar is at 8. It just recently went up, so we'll see how we go. But all last night was pure, nice and easy. I had a few auto corrections, but not like before. So all of a sudden, my body is saying, okay, let's just move things along, and we're fine and dandy now. Fully calibrated, did that nice and early. I have 0.925. Yesterday, I woke up feeling like I needed insulin. For those of you who aren't a diabetic, you know the feeling. It's kind of just listless. You didn't really feel sick, but you felt like, it's probably time I took a shot. But then, as we went through the morning, that dissipated. Today, I don't feel it, so it could be how you are through the night. Today is 96% time in range, 3% above, 96 in range, 1% low. And that one shocked me. That one came out of the blue. But this is down again at 8.1. This pump is now knowing who I am. And I enjoy sleeping with my new pump. Waking up feeling better, feeling energized like I did have a good sleep. Okay. Today, we're going to take a look back, and I'm going to discuss life before T1D. Stay tuned. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Okay. Everyone knows their T1D story through and through. Every diabetes site of an individual has done this. I wanted to remember what life was like before. Now, unlike my trim physique now, I was a big kid. I was ridiculed a lot. I was bullied in elementary school. I wasn't coordinated, couldn't play sports, so I was sort of an outcast. I made it through elementary school. Okay. But my life at that point was pretty normal. I was probably more lackadaisical than I should have been. But on whole, I can remember I could have an apple and feel fine. I didn't have to worry about shots. And 90% of diabetics type 1s will remember this time. And I certainly do. So, what was it like? Even though I was a big kid, I could still walk to school. I could be outside. I couldn't run that fast, but I still had a close knit of friends. Until my first year of school, high school. In Vancouver, you went from elementary school to secondary school. There was no middle schools. So we went to high school. My sister went to the same high school. And within the first month, could have been sooner, but the first month, I really noticed things. And I could remember walking to my first day of classes in a snazzy red Star Wars shirt with yellow writing that said Star Wars on it. Very basic. And I went to school with that, and I walked up to the school, and coming home, I didn't really fit into this shirt. I looked terrible in it. So I changed, but I really wanted to wear that shirt the first day. I got up, I went into my first homeroom, into high school. It was an interesting time. I can remember having classes and being like any other student. But then, excuse me, I gotta reach something out. Everything suddenly started changing. I can remember having to get a drink. I couldn't make it through classes. I could barely make it there. When I got there, I had to sit down. There were days I'd curl up in a corner of the hall and have a nap before school started. So life changed very quickly. And when my mind still goes back, and how I feel today, how I felt beforehand, to be perfectly honest, I would have to say my blood sugars were probably a bit raised. We'll just say that. But I could go to the corner store if I had $1 and I could get sweets. And sweets, candies, whatever you want to call them. And I enjoyed that. And I don't remember being thirsty after or being tired all the time. I would go home. My last year of elementary school, I came home and after school, and I'd be up and be fine to dinner time, eat, and go to bed. Life was so carefree. Then, I'm not going to bore you with my diagnosis story that's on here, and it's probably on a million other people's. Yes, I got thirsty. Yes, I had to go to the bathroom. Yes, I ended up in the hospital. All the basics. For me, I think why I got diabetes was somehow I picked up a virus. And the virus broke out here. I remember I have a picture of me doing this, pointing to my scabby wound. That's all it was. And within the first couple of days of going back to school, the teacher said, "You have to go to the nurse." And I was sent home and told to go see the doctor because I had impetigo. And just shortly after that, I started drinking water. And at first it was, oh, I'm thirsty. And then it got to the point where I couldn't find enough water. At home it was fine. I was taking glass bottles of water, not to use all day at school, but to have for the walk. I would drink before I left and halfway to school. And school was probably about 5 blocks. It seemed longer, but it was about 5 blocks. And life after that impetigo changed for me. Age 13, I got type 1 diabetes. And there was so much information. And I got out. It was either October 30th or the 31st. And Halloween night, for the first time, I was at home. But I did go out eventually and trick-or-treated for the kids back at the ward. So it was all a fun time. While I was in the hospital, a transformation happened. Now, I don't know if it was my body and the good old puberty started, or it was always kind of stinted because of my high blood sugar, but all of a sudden I seemed to shoot straight up. When I put towards the end of my stay, I was allowed passes. They wanted to see how I would do on my insulin doses out of the hospital. So we did that, and I swear my pants had seemed to shrink, that they were now a little too short. So going back to school, I was like a whole new person. A lot of the bullying stopped, and my whole life began. I personally see my life as two different lives: pre-diabetes and post-diabetes. Now, obviously, the post-diabetes is a lot longer than the first years. But I was a big kid, but I wasn't different. And after, I never really was treated differently. In fact, you still expected to do everything. But I wasn't sort of, oh, well, you have diabetes, you can't do that. Behind our school, there was a big park that I think was several blocks long. And we had to run around this park for PE. I couldn't do it. After my diabetes, it got easier. Probably because I had a little bit more energy, but I really would like to know what your memories, if you have T1D, what your memories are pre-diabetes. Now, some have had type 1 diabetes from an early age and can't really remember. That is fine. But for those of you who do, I'd like to hear. Any sort of stories or interesting facts you have about T1D, please share them below, up there, wherever the comments are, and so we can share them. Let me know if we can share the story. I won't use names, but it is my hope that we can learn from each other and say, hey, that happened to me. Or, oh, I should speak to my doctor and see if we can do that. Something to think about. And with that, I hope you have a super day. We'll talk again soon. Oops, sorry. Bye now. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.